So those of you who have joined us that are new, my name is Nil Patel. I'm the Director of Business Development supporting the credit unions across Canada. Our next presenter is Stephanie West. She's a Manager of Marketing and Communications for Steinbach Credit Union out of Manitoba. She has a lot to present, so I'm going to keep the introduction very short. Her story today is going to be the great data and marketing divide and how to be able to merge those two together. Stephanie?
Awesome. Thank you, Neil. I'm super excited to be here today because I get to share SCU's story on how our analytical story on how we gained alignment with our sales and marketing and data analytics team, but most importantly, how we've been able to successfully grow our business by leveraging data to inform our sales and marketing strategies and campaigns. We've accomplished a lot of great work with the team, and I'm excited to share it with you. Before I get started, I wanted to give you an overview of SCU. Since opening our doors in 1941, our growth has been organic. We've never merged with any other credit union and instead have grown one member at a time. Today, we are one of Manitoba's largest credit unions with over $8 billion in assets. We're proudly serving over 100,000 members across our 3 branches located in Winnipeg and in Steinbach. Much like other financial institutions, we offer products and services for personal, business, and agricultural members, offering day-to-day banking, wealth management, and lending solutions. What's most important for us as an organization is building strong relationships with our members by developing a deep understanding of their needs and creating tailored solutions to help them live their best financial future. Every day we come to work and rally around our purpose of helping our members on their journey of saving and spending wisely. Over the past 5 years, SCU has seen substantial growth. In fact, it took us 75 years to grow to $5 billion in assets and only 5 years to grow an additional $3 billion. We believe that our investment in data and aligning sales, marketing, and data analytics has been a big factor in driving this growth. Like many of you in the audience, I'm sure you can all relate, we're not a big organization. We have over 500 employees across our branches. We have a small marketing team. I co-lead a team of 10 specialized marketers with no dedicated resources to data analytics. In fact, that is currently being done from the corner of my desk. We work with a modest budget. We must always look for ways to optimize every dollar. It was imperative we make wise decisions and ensure we make every dollar count. And we don't have all the bells and whistles available to us in the market nowadays. When it comes to data analytics, that meant we needed to start small. We took the time to test and learn to understand what worked and what didn't. And we only invested in the things that would give us the biggest return. The analytics team at Environics has been our partner for over 11 years and are seen as an extension to our marketing team. This partnership has allowed me to grow personally my knowledge on data analytics, which I'm truly thankful for. It's been a journey, and I'm excited to share it with you. I think we can all agree that success requires alignment. When I reflect on my time at SCU, we had a friendly relationship with our sales team. However, we were not aligned. I think we can all agree that sales and marketing have distinct roles to play in the sales funnel. It's marketing's role to target and attract the right customer, convert them into high-quality leads so they can be passed on to the sales team. And then from there, the sales team's role is to nurture those leads and then convert them into sales. Sounds pretty straightforward. However, if sales and marketing are not aligned, opportunities can and will be missed, which in the end will impact your bottom line and the success of your campaign. It was necessary for the marketing team and the sales team to find a way to gain alignment. So next, I'm going to share with you some of the things that we did. Our goal was to create a dream team. About 5 years ago, sales and marketing started reporting to the same leader. That was a good start. However, we still had a whole lot of work to do. What we realized that collaboration was not only essential for the sales and marketing team, it was also essential for us to gain alignment with our data analytics team. In our case, that meant Environics. I'm going to now share some things that we did in order to create that alignment. Number one, communication. Sounds easy. I would consider myself a pretty good communicator. In fact, it's in my title, so it must be true. But campaign after campaign, I believed I checked all those essential boxes. I communicated the campaign details early. I shared our targeting approach and results. I always questioned whether or not we were on the same page. Did they trust the data that we were sharing with them? Did they understand our targeting approach? Were they skeptical of the data that we were providing? The room was typically quiet, and we didn't get a whole lot of questions. So as I was preparing this presentation, I called one of my sales colleagues, and I asked her, were you actually skeptical of the data when we were sharing that? She said yes. And I thought to myself, why didn't I ask her that question before? Anyways, so I kept doing the same thing over and over again, but I wasn't getting anywhere with that. What I realized was my communication was fine. What I needed to do was change my communication approach. The missing key was the sales team's involvement in the campaign development process. Rest assured, marketing still had control over the look and feel of the campaign, but what we needed was their buy-in and their participation. What I most appreciate about this new approach was gaining their insights early, which gave us an opportunity to validate or to enhance our key message, creative, or targeting approach. Number two, it's important to ask questions and be curious. It's our job as marketers to ask questions, to discover needs. We must be curious. We began meeting with the sales and marketing team outside of our typical meetings. We use this as an opportunity to understand and ask questions about their needs and by understanding their goals and challenges. As you can appreciate, each branch has their own goals and challenges. We needed to work together to find solutions. Number three, shared goals. That's right, marketing and sales currently share sales goals. We win together and we lose together. This ensured we were all working towards the same goal. And finally, number four, bring them in early. Make them part of the decision-making process when building your audience. You want them to understand your targeting approach. The sales team is now involved in the development of several analyses and predictive models with the Environics team. This gave them an opportunity to weigh in early, understand the data, but ultimately understanding the targeting approach. Because when they trust that you're handing them warm leads and targeting the right audience, they're going to be more receptive to it. So you've just learned my take on how we gained alignment. I now want you to hear firsthand from one of my colleagues, Maxine, one of our branch managers, and she's going to explain how this alignment has driven our lending and deposit growth.
My name is Maxine Wineski, and I'm the manager of the SCU branches in the Winnipeg market. I've been working closely with Stephanie and her marketing team for over the past 5 years to utilize data analytics in developing our sales strategies and tactics. In a lot of companies, the sales and marketing teams are departments who often clash. At times, direction is provided to the sales teams from marketing without a clear explanation of why, or there's a lack of openness from the sales teams to adjust without fully understanding the rationale. I know I've felt that way in the past. And then 5 years ago, I had my first introduction to our data with It showed market-specific opportunity, which was exciting, but also created some anxiety as to how to operationalize the data to meet business goals. It was definitely a leap of faith to try a different strategy, as the sales tactics had worked well in the past. We took the leap, and our collaboration has helped us meet and exceed our goals over the past 5 years. With the specific data that EA provides SCU, the sales and marketing teams are able to identify the opportunities and develop strategies and tactics to capitalize on them. SCU has grown our deposit book from 4.9 billion in 2017 to 7.5 billion currently. We've also grown our lending book from 4.7 billion to 7.3 billion in the same time frame. That is over 50% growth in both areas over the past 5 years, largely due to the teamwork and collaboration between sales and marketing. I would highly recommend that if you do not have a strong collaborative relationship between your sales and marketing teams now, you start building one. For those who are building new relationships, it's important to understand each other's perspectives, get alignment around common goals, and demonstrate and communicate the benefits. It's been proven time and time again that these models work. They accurately identify our biggest opportunities, save us time, and improve results. Thank you for your time today.
Isn't she great? What she didn't mention is how much fun we have collaborating together with these strategies. Our alignment is strong, but I would say that it's a work in progress. We continue to work together to find those win-win solutions. All right, so where we started. So our analytical journey started, as I mentioned, about 11 years ago. When I joined SCU about 12 years ago, our targeting approach consisted of only a few variables that were available in our own data set. And at the time, we were working with another segmentation firm. It was good. I mean, we would get a nice big report, and it, had information about our custom segments with lots of information. However, the challenge was the data wasn't actionable. We couldn't operationalize the data to help us increase our market share and increase our share of wallet with our existing members. We needed to make a change, and so this is when we began our journey with Environics. The first thing we did was started by understanding our personal membership by building custom marketing segments. We took this opportunity to learn about our members' demographics, psychographics, social values, media preferences, banking preferences, etc. Then 2 short months after the study was completed, we developed an unaddressed mailer that went to our members and non-members. We sent out 60,000 pieces over 3 drops, so 180,000 pieces. Production-wise, it was pretty pricey, you can imagine that. A couple months later, we tested and did a response analysis so we could understand how the mailer performed, and we had a response rate of 0.82%. Not great, I know, a little bit underwhelming. However, we didn't let these results discourage us. We used the insights from the response analysis to learn and refine for the next campaign. So let's fast forward to the next campaign. Same time of year, same product. However, we significantly reduced the amount of pieces to one drop of 60,000 pieces. We did a response analysis, and we received a response rate of 2.02%. So obviously, we significantly reduced our production costs, less pieces, more targeted, and it achieved better results. So today, this is an approach that we take on an ongoing basis. In a little while, I'm going to share with you some more recent results with you. So fast forward to 2014, we felt it was time to invest into an economic segmentation model. So that focused strictly on our existing members. So this is leveraging transactional data to inform this model. So our members were segmented into 4 major groups. The idea here is to grow, retain, service, and maintain your relationships with your members. So today, this tool is used to help us prioritize and identify the biggest opportunities. Over the years, we also built several product predictive models to help us upsell, cross-sell to the right customer and to the right product. We've built attrition models to help us retain our members, as well as completed several analyses around new members, defection, and retention. It's important to note that the sales involvement, they're now involved in all of those things, because as soon as you get them involved, they understand the data. And one of the biggest things for me is to remember that we only invest in the data that we needed at the time to achieve our business objectives. So it's not like we got everything overnight. It was done over time and based on what we needed as an organization. Now I'm going to talk through the process that we take and how to bring these models together in order to create a campaign. Step 1, we leverage our predictive models. So your predictive models will help answer who is most likely to acquire a deposit, a loan, a line of credit, or mortgage. And this is used to create your campaign universe. Then step 2, we overlay our economic segments and marketing segments to prioritize our selection. This puts a cap on how many we're targeting. This creates your ideal audience. Once we know our audience, we use those insights to inform our creative brief and media buys. We then develop our campaign execution plan. So typically it's a multi-channel approach, traditional, digital, email, calling initiatives, etc. The data is used to support each of those channels. The final step is the most important, and it's response analysis, sorry. This is the most important step because this is where you're gonna learn and how you're gonna get better. And so we know that one of the KPIs of a campaign is response rate, but it's not the only one. You may want to look at doing some A/B testing and testing that performance. Understand your return on investment. How much dollars did the campaign generate? How many customers did you attract? What branch performed better than the other, and what custom marketing segments performed? The response analysis should always reflect what you're trying to achieve. And you want to make sure that you're always comparing apples to apples so that you can do those year-over-year reviews. Over the next 3 slides, I'll be sharing 3 of my favorite case studies. So this is the Live Life and Save For It campaign. I chose this campaign because this is a great example on how we leverage data to inform our creative, our messaging, and targeting. When developing a mass media campaign, I'm sure you can appreciate, we have to look at more than one target group. That's in our case anyways. And so, because otherwise it would be just too costly. So once you've identified your groups, in our case we had selected 4, you want to take a look at the similarities and differences between the groups. So for this creative, we chose the headline and the messaging and used different data points and insights to inform the creative brief. And so then the agency then took this and kind of came up with this concept. So what we had indicated was these groups enjoyed life and saving for their future. However, what we recognized is that some of our target groups were concerned about their financial future, while others were not. So although these groups were different, the data helped inform the creative and validated that the message would resonate with them. It also ensured that we weren't going to offend anyone with our messaging. Choosing an image itself, I'm sure you can imagine, it's a difficult task sometimes, and it can be subjective. So we leveraged behavioral data to choose this image. These 4 target groups had something in common. They loved the outdoors and biking. And so the data helped us take a lot of the guessing work about choosing the image. So choosing that dollar value at the top, I can remember sitting with the agency and we were throwing out all these numbers and we're like, I don't know, your guess is as good as mine. So what we did was we leveraged the Wealthscapes data and looked at the average savings for these target groups over time. And then we averaged it because there were some on the high end, some on the low end. So I know it sounds pretty easy, but again, if we would have gone with I think we were at like 25,000. Like we didn't know where to start. So the data helped us inform that. So let's talk about the results. The mailer was supported by traditional, digital, and owned media. And at this point, the sales and marketing team were just at the beginning of their journey, so there was no involvement. So the address mailer, we leveraged our predictive models, overlaid our economic segmentation models to find the best 5,500 members to mail to. We achieved a response rate of 28%. This mailer was successful at increasing engagement with our existing members and influencing them to save at SCU. We also completed an unaddressed mailer to just over 19,000 households, to members and non-members around each of our trade areas. We also completed a holdback to test the effectiveness of the mailer and targeting approach. We achieved a response rate of 9%. So you can definitely see the improvement from our first campaign of 0.82% and then the following one at 2.02. So over the years, we would fine-tune and adjust our targeting. So this mailer was effective at engaging existing members and attracting 136 new members during a specific campaign period. The next campaign I'm going to share with you is a smarter way to save. So at this point, the sales and marketing team and data analytics team were involved in developing this campaign. And since this was a rate-driven campaign, we didn't use data to inform our creative. Together, we developed a multi-channel campaign which included traditional, digital, email, direct mail, calling initiative, and owned media. This was a multi- and single-channel touchpoint tested campaign. Some only received a direct mail and were exposed to traditional and digital, while others also received an email and a call from the sales team. So again, we leveraged our predictive models, so we targeted 6,000 members. We achieved an overall response rate of 32%. And those who received multiple touch points had a response rate of 36%. And those that only received the direct mail had a response rate of 28%. You can see the lift and the benefit of creating those multi-channel campaigns. We also did an unaddressed mailer, of course. We sent out to just over 20,000 households. We had a holdback group. We achieved a response rate of 7.5%, and the holdback response rate was 4%. So again, the mailer was effective at engaging existing members, and in this case, attracting 175 new members. The final case study, I just wanted to share this one just because it's the most recent one, just this past winter. And this one was specifically supporting a calling initiative that our sales team completed based on the data that we were sharing with them. So this was a channel-based targeting campaign. We had direct mail, call, email, and they were exposed to digital and traditional assets. So the objective of the calling initiative was to reach out to members, to build relationships, to help members save wisely, advise them of an offer, retain business, and address any other needs. So we used the targeted list versus a non-targeted list that was still in line with what we were trying to achieve with deposits. So the targeted list achieved a sales effectiveness of 48%. Versus the non-targeted lists had a sales effectiveness of 11%. So you can imagine this example demonstrates the power of the models working together and finding those best leads for the sales team and the frontline staff. So today, the sales and marketing team, we always work together to find those calling lists. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for your time. I really hope that our story inspires you and your organization to take the next step on data analytics. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Yes. Oh, I don't know if there's a microphone. That's correct.
Yeah. What would you say was the tipping point in changing their behaviors to become more of a sales team, to have that relationship with you? There had to be a couple things that went on while you were saying while you're working together. I wondered if you could be more specific.
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing was that we started reporting to the same leader. So we were in the same room together a lot. And so it gave us an opportunity to share more than what we would typically, right? Because before, I don't remember meeting the sales team on a regular basis. Like, we didn't have a lot of FaceTime. So now we were like in the same room and we needed to really get to understand each other. I think the tipping point for us was I kept pushing stuff to them as opposed to them coming to us to understand, like, we needed to understand their business and understand what their challenges were. So just asking questions, being curious about what's keeping them up at night, right? And just talking through that. And I think that's where the best ideas come from, is through that collaboration, through that. Then we can look to the Environics team to help us solve the problem that we're trying to solve. I hope that answers your question.
And just one more quick one. When you say your call, who's doing the calling? Is that just the employees in your branches, or do you have a call center?
It would be the frontline staff, like our member services representatives. Thank you. Any other questions?
Great presentation.
Oh,
thank you,
thank you.
Stephanie. Really appreciate. We are
Thank
from
you.
the credit union, so we can relate to 50% growth over 5 years is really an amazing story. Thanks, Neil, for bringing it. So one question is, like, did you use a branch-driven strategy, or was it also a digital complement that brought this growth? I was just curious to see how did you grow both on the investment as well as lending side. So just curious to see, was it all retail branch-driven growth, or was there a digital, like online onboarding or member servicing? How much of that is digital?
Yeah, like a good proportion of the campaign was supported through digital, and a lot of the sales leads would come through to the landing page and then passed on to the sales team. And then further to that, to complement the direct mail, we would also have the team make calls and just, follow up and ask, if there were any questions, especially if we were sharing like an offer or something that we could just answer any questions members would have. And so, of course, members appreciated that, and it just starts building that relationship with them and trust. So it was a multi-channel kind of approach, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Okay, thank you.